Hey everybody, Warren here. It's been a long time since I've done one of these videos, and I had a corpmate ask me about exactly how I do my shipping method because he wasn't quite sure. So I'm going to do another one now that my system has grown considerably since the last time that I did one of these. And it's certainly not getting any bigger. It's about as big as it's going to get. I have all 16 planets and 3 trade stations. So pretty much what I'm doing right now is going to be what I do for the rest of my shipping time. And before you ask, yes, I am RS10 and I still ship. Why? Because, well, I want a little bit more income because I want to be able to run relay and have enough money to do upgrades for 8 million a piece if they take 7 or 8 days, and still have some income to still do some planets and maybe increase my cap a little bit in case some other stuff comes around. One of the things that I invested in a little while back was the time modulator. You'll see I have level 11. Level 11 gives you a speed up factor of 4, and why that's important is because you're getting 40 minutes out of 10 twice a day, which means you're getting an extra hour. And the extra hour means that I'm getting 25 hours worth of shipments in 24 hours time. So I'm actually getting a little bit of extra income squeezed out of my system every day. So it's not a ton, but it adds up, especially since your trade stations hold 18 shipments, 18 hours worth of shipments instead of 12. So especially if you have those leveled pretty nicely, you're getting quite a bit of extra out of those. And then whatever extra room that you have on your on-lane stuff when your drone runs over, since it runs for an entire hour, and unless you're doing some pretty heavy legwork to pick up all those shipments, you're not picking them all up. Excuse me. So my shipments for the 12th hour are about to drop in about 2 minutes. I'll just use this to rush it a little bit just to get it down to about a minute. And you'll see why in just a second here. I have a routine where I run 6 different transports to pick up all my on-lane shipments at first. And it takes me about a minute from being parked over here in my starter sector to get to my gas giant going through the warplane system. So once I have about a minute left, which I'm sure I do, about 41 seconds, I'll start this. So I'm going to start sending my transports to all my different on-lane planets that I don't have either relayed or have artifacts sitting on and won't produce any shipments. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to each individual place and I'm going to the location of the planet, and then I'm going to a nearby warplane that I would be going to anyway, just kind of as a bounce mechanism so that my transport will pick up shipments from the location and it'll be headed in the direction that I want it to go to my hub. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by that in a minute when I start canceling all the waypoints and sending it off to where I want to go. Now you'll notice that I'm setting waypoints to some slightly different locations based on where I'm going. And that's because I have so many shipments at this point that I simply cannot put them all on one planet. I have to distribute everything among 4 different hub planets now, and then I will kind of redistribute those as time goes on. So my one transport just picked up all the on-lane shipments. What I did was I set waypoints to all different on-lane locations when I was picking up from this gas giant here. And then I set waypoints to all different on-lane locations. Once it picks up, you see it got the plus 11 and the plus 8 there. I'm canceling all those waypoints. So basically what I did was I used Shipment Computer to pick up all the shipments that are going to other on-lane destinations. And the bounce back, what I called it before, to that nearby warplane, that's my second waypoint. What that's doing, like I said, I wanted to get it headed in the direction of the hub. This is my off-lane hub, and then I use 1, 2, 3 planets as my on-lane hubs to hold all my on-lane shipments, just to store them in the meantime, while I am doing all my off-lane shipments, then later on I will consolidate all those to 2 different locations, which I'll show you in a little bit here after I get everything going. So I've already picked up from 3 destinations. This starter sector right here, I store a lot of artifacts on, so I don't have to relay it, and I have a bunch of artifacts just sitting there, as most people do. So I don't have to relay that. I'm relaying this. Could I put some artifacts there? Yeah, probably. But it's 1 sector and it's 3,000 hydrogen. It's one less thing I have to worry about, and I'd rather be able to get the crystal shipments and all that stuff rather than just store a bunch of artifacts that I don't need. I can store 120 here, and I'm definitely not going through all those at one time. That'll last me for quite a while, even if I don't run. So, alright, so my first trip is nearing completion here. As soon as this transport picks up, I'm going to cancel its waypoints and start heading back to the hub. Now, I've got a bunch of transports sitting there waiting to drop off shipments to these hub planets, and these are all going to be my on-lane hubs. Now, you'll notice that I have a bunch of on-lane shipments already sitting on the on-lane hub. So what I do is I just bounce back and forth, and I will set destinations to all the other on-lane planets, and I'll just drop them back off again. Oop, didn't mean to do that. There we go. So I've got destinations set to all those different on-lane places. What it's going to do, it's going to apply the shipment computer bonus to all those shipments, and I will have an extra 22% value on those. Now, 22% doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot, but when you consider that my drone will apply a maximum of 128% bonus, and that shipment computer boost is on the base value of the shipment, it's 128% on top of a base of 122%. So it's actually more like a 50% bonus at that point, which is pretty substantial. So I'm just doing all my bouncing on those hub planets right now for the on-lane shipments. Once I get those 3 taken care of, I'll dump everything back on the hub, and I'll start picking up all the off-lane shipments and bringing them to my ICE 2, because that's what I use. I only use 1 off-lane planet for my hub, and that's my ICE 2. I use that because it can hold 100 shipments total. It's just the easiest to manage with all the off-lane shipments from 1 destination. So now I'm picking up all those off lanes from the 3 different locations that I'm using for on-lane storage. That one's all set. I'll direct that over to here. I realize that I'm kind of doing everything pretty fast here, and it looks like there's a lot going on at one time. I've been doing it for a long time. It's not as overwhelming as it seems, I promise. Once you start doing it a little bit more and you kind of get the hang of what you're doing and what needs to happen and why, it goes a heck of a lot faster. So as you notice, I just sent this transport down here. I'm just picking up some of the off-lane shipments that I missed on the trip over here before. So that's what that guy's doing. And I know that he takes a while to get from this Terran giant planet here all the way over there, so I usually send him off a little early. So I'll finish picking up those off-lane shipments from here. Now, the same thing that I did with boosting the on-lane shipments for the on-lane hub, I will boost all the off-lane shipments on the off-lane hub. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'll pick them up and drop them right back off on the off-lane hub. And we can cancel all those and get that all set up. You see me waiting here. I don't want to try and double boost anything. There's no such way to double boost using shipment computer. I want to make sure, since I can only hold 30 shipments, I say only, that's pretty substantial, but 30 shipments isn't a whole heck of a lot when you're dealing with 500 at a time. I want to make sure that I'm only boosting the ones that haven't been boosted yet. So that's why I'm waiting to drop all those off. So I can finish up here. That was a mistap, a little fat finger action there. go pick up the rest of the shipments for off-lane destinations now from these other couple of planets, get them up here. I moved all the on-lane shipments off of every place else. Now I need to move them off of my hub. So I have a couple of transports that I usually dedicate to that, the ones that have trade boost and trade burst on cooldown. I want to make sure that I have those transports available for me to send off to off-lane destinations. So just for the sake of keeping everything the same every time so I know what I'm expecting, I use those couple of transports every time to do it. So just picked up those 30 shipments. There's probably a few more, and there's a couple of stragglers that I'm going to need to pick up since I can only hold 30. So I'll do that with this other guy. The one trade burst and trade boost is on cooldown. I usually use 2 transports to deliver my off-lane shipments for each cycle. So I have a total of 4 transports that I use per day for that. You can use 1 if you really want to. I'm using 2 because it is a lot easier to get done within the 10-minute time frame. In fact, it's probably the only way I'm going to get it done within the 10-minute time frame, because I have 8 off-lane places that I need to go to drop off shipments. So, okay. You'll notice I have 1 transport here that doesn't have shipment computer or anything on it. It's just kind of my extra transport that I use for white stars. It's just a little extra thing. I'm going to park it over here for now, and I'll use that a little bit later. You'll get to see what I'm doing there. So I've got, looks like 101 shipments total for off-lane that I just pulled from all these on-lane destinations. You'll notice that all my off-lane destinations are still full, and I'm going to get to those in a couple of minutes here. What I do is I pick up the stuff from those off-lane planets as I deliver computer. So I'm all sorted on lane right now, and I'll go through kind of a second stage sort afterward. Now, I don't use offload, so you'll notice that I have a very low trade burst. I have level 1, and it's 20%. To me, an extra 2% a level, since I'm only using manual shipments and I'm not using offload, it doesn't really make sense for me to take trade burst to a really high level, because as you'll see, I've got 15s and 14s and 13s. I don't really have super high numbers. These are actually pretty balanced right now, but especially if I have to do shipments after only 10 or 11 hours just because of time constraints, I may struggle to hit that 12 threshold, let alone a higher threshold to activate trade burst on a single trip. So I've always just left it low. I figured that the level 1 20% is a heck of a lot better than nothing, so I just leave it as such. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my 2 transports with shipments to 2 different destinations, and I'm going to drop the highest value ones until I get to 12. I've got that 12 right there, so I've got 12 shipments loaded. I'm good to go. I'll drop that 1 shipment that I wasn't able to place before. And where the heck else are we going to go here? I guess we'll go to the fire planet down below there. So I know what the names of these are. Just pick up all these shipments. I've got 13 there, so a couple real high value ones, so I'll just drop that 1 there, and now I'm good to go. So just for ease of sorting purposes, all my off-lane planets are named as they are. I stuck a Z in front of the ones that are on lane, just so they all fall to the bottom. So when I'm delivering, I've got all the stuff that I need to deliver off lane up top, and all the stuff that, well, I'm not going to have any on-lane stuff here right now because I don't have anything returning from an off-lane planet yet, but I will shortly. So let's get the show on the road. So I'm going to send my transport to the off-lane destination. Then the first destinations I'm going to pick for shipment computer are going to be the other off-lane ones. I want to make sure that I'm picking up everything that goes off lane first, because I only want to go to these destinations twice. I want to go there once to pick up all the off lane stuff and make sure I have it cleared, and then I want to go there one more time just to drop off any stragglers. So now I'm just basically waiting for these transports to make it there. At 3 seconds, I will turn on burst and boost, and we're good to go. I'm actually going to teleport this guy home to kind of stagger their times. So I have one returning home earlier than the other, and I can kind of keep them both going at the same time without one sitting around for too long. I try not to really use the time modulator much during this stage, because trying to use 2 transports at the same time, if I were to rush it during most phases of this, it would do nothing but screw me up. I wouldn't have time to cancel my waypoints and all that kind of stuff. So I stay away from it until towards the end, just to kind of rush things when I'm sitting around for a minute and a half at a time, waiting for the transports to return. And you'll see me use that, I'm sure, towards the end of this cycle. So you saw me do the sorting phase, which was phase 1. I'm doing the off-lane shipment phase, which is phase 2. And then once I get everything cleared off of the off-lane planets, and I've got everything sitting on the hubs, I will do another sort for drone. And we'll get to that in just a moment here. So this guy is going to be returning. He's used his teleport. This one, I can use the teleport to get it home a little faster. It's going to mean that it's going to sit around for a couple of seconds while I get the other transport going, but so be it. It'll be faster than waiting for it to return for that 59 seconds there. So he's going to teleport home. And I just keep on doing this. I'm going to make sure to hit each off-lane destination one time, kind of keep a mental note of where I've been and where I haven't, which is actually pretty easy to do, because obviously I'm going to have a lot more shipments for a place that I haven't been than a place that I have. I'll just have a couple of stragglers that I've picked up from other destinations. So got all those waypoints set. Now the only thing I have left to do, because I have 5 planets and 3 trade stations off lane, I'm going to start going to those trade stations and deliver those. And like I said, pretty much everything is relying on use of shipment computer. So I go to the destination, then I set a waypoint to the nearest warplane to return home. Or if there's no warplane to get there, I just set it right back to the hub. And that way it's flying me back to where I want to go. So when I cancel all the other waypoints, it picks up everything for those secondary waypoints, but I'm actually not traveling there. It's just boosting the shipments by the 22%. So I'm getting the additional value, but I'm not having to use all the hydrogen. If you watch my hydrogen up here, as I cancel those waypoints, I'm getting all the hydrogen back. So it's not really a huge waste of hydrogen like you might think it is, setting all those waypoints, because I'm canceling them all again. So we're almost done with round 1 of this off-lane thing. We're about to start round 2 after I deliver these other trade stations here. I'm not overly concerned. I know there's probably a shipment or 2 on that other transport sitting there waiting for me for this west trade station. I don't really care about that, because I'm going to have to go back there a second time anyway. So if anything, it'll help my rush out a little bit, get there slightly faster. Look at that, 25 shipments going to one place. It's quite a few. The other thing that I left at level 1 is rush, because rush 1, I think it's a 6% boost to your speed per shipment to a destination. which is quite helpful, especially when you get 25 like you had there. It's going 150% faster than it would otherwise to the destination. If I started really leveling it up, it would probably make it too fast in order for me to do everything that I need to do and then cancel them again. Alright, so I've gone to the last place there. That transport's coming back, and I'm looking at it here. It looks like it's not holding any shipments for those two off-lane destinations, so I can send this guy back out again, and I don't have to wait for that transport to come back before I can send it out with the shipments, because I'm not going to be having to return there a third time. So just checking on that real quick so I'm not wasting my time going there a third time. So go pick up all the stragglers. Now I have another second set of waypoints that I do when I return the second time, and pick up all the things that I didn't pick up before. Oop. I don't think I have any shipments going in my red star scanner. So as you notice, I'm not really checking any sort of destinations. I'm utilizing all those 15 waypoints that I have at my disposal, and I'm just blanket setting them. I'm setting the first round all the off-lane waypoints first, and then any on-lane waypoints over here for the first round. And then for the second round, I just kind of go back around the circle, starting up here and work my way around that way until I get everything waypointed, just to make sure that I cover all my bases. So it looks like I don't have anything going up there, so I can send a transport. Since I don't have anything to deliver, I don't need a transport that has boost and burst active to go over there and pick up stuff. So I'm going to pick those up now with a transport that's just sitting there hanging out waiting for something to do. Send this guy down here, pick all that stuff up. So we're kind of nearing the end of the process here for off-lane delivery. Another couple of minutes and I'll be good with that. My teleport's back up again, so I can start using that to get home, just to make sure that I get within my 10-minute time frame for trade boost. Even though trade boost is only 12% for me, another trade mod that I never put a whole heck of a lot of stock in, because if you are always building warp lanes and decreasing the number of off-lane shipments that you're going to be delivering, that immediately does less and less for you, and the payback for the investment that you get, it would take years and years to recoup it if you get to higher and higher levels with it. So that, combined with the fact that I've got plenty of other things that I would love to do with my research station than research trade mods, especially at RS10, I never bothered to invest too heavy in it. So just use that time modulator so I'm not sitting here as long. We'll get those transports home a little faster with some teleport. And we're just about done here. It looks like I got one more destination and teleport back home, and I'll be good to go. Whoops, I forgot to get this guy back. I forgot what I did with these here, so. Set those waypoints. That is one thing that you have to be careful of. I don't know if you noticed what I did there. I set the one transport there, and I got talking with you guys and forgot that I sent the transport up there to pick stuff up. It started going off on my other waypoints, so I had to kind of clear those out. Alright, so as you'll notice, I'm starting to overload here on shipments. So I'm getting into my third and final phase, which is sorting all my on-lane shipments now for shipment drone to kind of maximize that. Shipment drone, I would say, is the most important part, because if you get a high enough level shipment drone, you start making a boatload of money. 16% per additional shipment and a total of 9 slots. That's 128% if it's fully loaded. So what I want to make sure I do is get the maximum bonus I can on the highest value shipments. So I just set kind of an arbitrary number, anything under 300 credits that I have sitting on my planets. I'm going to pick those up. So that way I'm going to kind of cast them off to the side and not worry about those. I'm going to shuffle them away. And the reason for that is if I am holding those shipments, drone cannot pick them up. And therefore it's only going to deliver those high value ones like I want it to. So what I'm also doing right now is I'm picking up shipments in excess of 9. And I'm sorting it by lowest to highest value. And for the same reason, I want to make sure that it's delivering the highest value stuff and not just a bunch of junk. So we'll finish up here. Crystal shipments, they count as shipments, so I make sure to pick those up. And I don't want those to be delivered with a shipment, especially these guys up here worth 4,000 credits. I'm picking up a crystal shipment instead of one of those. I'm losing out on a lot of income. So it looks like if I look around here, everything is either 9 or below. So, and then I'm going to move these to different hub planets. So I want to make sure that I don't have all my hub planets shipments for all the destinations. So this guy right here, I don't have any shipments for that guy. So he'll be good to travel over there. So what I usually do at this point is if I have a destination that only has 1 or 2 shipments, I'll usually pick those up too, because this planet holds 100 and I have to sort them into piles of 9 for this guy. So if it's only a few shipments, I'm going to be able to hold 11 piles. And if I were to have 1 for every destination, I'd run out of room. So now I'm going to start loading up and making piles of 9 on this guy. So it looks like I have 5 for here and 4 for here. So I need 4 shipments for McCart, and I need 5 shipments for Lisbon. So I'm going to pull from these other hubs until I can, whoops, that's not for it, until I can make those piles of 9 that I'm looking for. And I'll pull from all of them. I kind of have a pretty good idea, because I've been doing it like this for a while, what hub is going to hold the most valuable shipments for what planet. And I actually picked up 1 too many here for that guy. Getting distracted by talking while I'm doing this. So now I need 5 for Lisbon. So those are kind of mediocre value. I'm usually looking for stuff in the 700 or 800 range. If I don't have them, so be it. There's a couple right there. Looks like I'm not going to have 5 at that price point that I'm looking for. So I'll grab a couple from here just to fill it in. And just kind of go around to each planet and do the same thing. So it looks like I need 1 for Cabanon to make that pile of 9. There's a nice one, 798. Then I need 4 for there, and 3 for its moon, Stellira. So I'll sort like that, just so I can get to it a little bit faster. Pick up 3 of those guys. And then I needed 4 for this. I'm starting to get in some mediocre values, so I'll go over here, see if I can grab 1 from here. Yeah, there's a decent one, 684. And then I need 1 for this guy, and 3 for the moon, it looked like, yep. Three for the moon. 1, kind of crummy value. See if I can get 2 more from here that are good. Yes, we can. And we'll go over here, Looks like I need 1 for Moria and 3 for Nulier. Wow, look at that guy, 2047. That's a big one. It's not even a trade station shipment. Okay, so now I have piles of 9 for everything if I were to bring these 3 transports to this hub. So now in addition, in case I overlooked a few things, which it looks like I overlooked a couple high value shipments. So anything over 1,000, the same way that I picked up the stuff under 300 from the hub, I'm going to pick up anything over 1,000, and these are just arbitrary numbers. And I'm going to bring them to the hub as well. And since I am imbalancing what I'm going to have on the hub, I need to pick up the lowest value from the hub over here. So I had a Stellera 2, and I need to pick up 1 Cody 1. And then I'll do the same for this guy. That doesn't have anything over 1,000. So now we have to do everything in a big shuffle. These guys are going to go over here. This guy's going to go over here. And now I'm going to make a stop with this guy and drop off that one shipment that I had sitting there for the hub. But on my way through, I'm going to also make sure to bring everything over to here, because that's going to be my secondary hub. I'm going to dump everything else off over there. Anything that's not in a pile of 9 on this main hub right here. And you'll notice that I'm probably going to start overloading this, which looks like that's going to be the case. So I'll just start holding piles of 9 on my transports. And then as they deliver, I'll be able to put them back on the hub, and drone will be able to do its thing. This is why I was talking about having to do that picking up of just a couple of shipments, like I was saying before. You eventually run out of room. So I got a few things sitting here. I'm actually going to load this up. That Terran planet is only going to hold shipments for one planet, and that's going to be Congo. Congo is my other ice planet. That's going to be that secondary hub. So obviously I don't want to deliver those manually. I want drone to do it. So I'm just going to dump everything right here. With the exception of those, I'll leave those. Looks like I have 8 shipments destined for there. Alright. So I gotta double check my numbers here, because I've got 98 shipments on that planet. I should have 99. So I'm missing 1 Stellera. So let me just... I'll have to bring a transport back with it. I don't know what happened there. Screwed myself up somehow. So, no problem. Just grab one from here and bring it over. I'll just grab this one. Bring it back over. So, drone, I don't know if you've ever noticed, drone seems to prioritize 2 things. It likes to look at things that are really close to its current location, and it will deliver those regardless of whether there's a full load for it or not. So I usually set up myself so I have full load sitting on my secondary hub, this ice planet right over here, because if I don't do that, it will pick up whatever it feels like, even if it's not a full load, and it will not give me full bonus. So now I've got 15 shipments on Congo. I'll probably have to finagle that a little bit. There's that one shipment I needed from Solera. And it looks like I don't have anything remaining for these 3 hubs to be delivered. So I've got, I have less than 9 for 2 of them. This one I've got 14 for, so I'll just pick up 5 of those, the lowest value ones again. And then I'll bring this up to 80. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the other hub. I'm going to pick up anything, with the exception of the ones that I know are close. Makar, Lisbon, and Kaduya. I'm not going to pick those up because I've already sorted those out. So anything under 300 credits, I'm going to pick those up and just hold on to them till the end, and then I'll just kind of pepper them in. So get this all the way up to 80, full capacity, and then I'm going to fire my shipment drone. So now that that's fired, I have nothing to do except for sit here and wait and dump off shipments. So I'm going to fire that time modulator, get everything going in a hurry here, which is 4X is a huge help for that. So it's kind of zipping right around there. So got another 8 shipments to put on there. I'll try and keep all those low value ones that I picked up all in the same place. I had to find the transport that I used for that. I think it was this guy. Yes, it was. So I'll pick up all those low value ones, deposit the ones that are higher value. Now I've made a bunch more room. And just kind of continue doing this for a couple of minutes until drone catches up and I've got all the shipments dropped on the planets that I need. It's catching up pretty quickly. Like I said, that 4X really helps matters a lot. You notice that I just dropped off the 5 shipments that I had for Lispfin. It's because all those had already been picked up, so I'm just getting those finished off. Got room for 5 more on that guy right now. One more low value to pick out of there. Once the drone comes back 1 or 2 more times, I should be good to go. And I'll be able to kind of pepper in these low value ones to make piles of 9 if I need to. Yep, yeah, these are all higher value ones, so I'll be able to throw those in there. And there's the last drone. So at this point, kind of want to slow things down just a bit. And I'll kind of go around one more time. And I'll see I got 10 there, so I'm going to pick up one of those. So I'm getting the maximum bonus out of that. There's that. And then I'll just kind of look at the other planets and say, okay, well, I've only got 3 for these guys right here. So if I have any shipments for those, which I do, I'll drop those off. So I'm getting additional bonus on them. Yeah, they're low value shipments, but it's going to increase the value of all the other stuff. So this guy needs no more, but these 2 do. So let's see what I've got. I don't have any of those. But I do have stuff for this one, but I only need 1 for the planet itself. So I'll drop 1 of what I have there for that. Oh, and it looks like I can pick up 2 of each of those to make a pile of 9. So I'll do that now. One, 2, and I think I remember seeing that I needed for there, but I don't have any. So that's it. I just kind of let the drone go, and when it gets real low, since I know that everything that I have in here is overflow, I'll wait for that planet to pretty much empty, just come back a couple minutes later and dump it all, and that'll be the end of that. That's just shipment session. Took a little bit longer since I was kind of dictating, narrating what I was doing as I was going, but that's the general gist of it. So hope you enjoyed watching, learned something from it, and happy shipping.